So welcome to Peterborough. This is the city I've called home for the last 44 years. It's one of Ontario's smaller cities, so about 80,000 people, basically built on agriculture, industry, and more recently tourism. Peterborough's hobby history is mostly historical. We used to have a couple shops when I was young, and over time both of those changed location several times and closed. It's pretty quiet here as far as the hobby goes, but there are still people who practice it, get together once in a while, and share stories. But it's best hobby days are behind it right now. Having just picked you up, we're just on our way back to my house and my modeling studio. I'm really looking forward to getting this build underway. I'm really looking forward to sharing some of my favorite techniques for painting and weathering scale models. I think we're going to have a great time putting this together, and we should be home in a couple minutes. Oh, you are going to be nice today. Hello, welcome. And as we walk to the front of the house, this is the space that I've been given by my family for modeling. Quite typically, my partner will work here doing her art. I work here doing my models, and then when I'm not so overwhelmed by models, this is actually where I'll do my career work as a graphic designer. Yeah, so this is the main bench area here. So we have a lovely tank craft mat, which I got not too long ago. I actually helped do some proofing of the design on that. Sort of tools are just haphazardly stored in jars and moved forwards and backwards on the bench as needed. We have more storage space here, so a variety of paints. Yep. So this is sort of raw materials. So we have Albion Alloys brass, lots of brass tubing. We have evergreen and plastoc stock strip. The display case is a bit of a mess right now, but where's the BF-109? It's hiding. Oh, it's still in the box. Oh, really? There's the Valkyrie that was in Scale Aviation. There's the Hellcat that was in Scale Aviation. Painting is handled here in the dungeon, the basement. So this is a Pache spray booth. Next to it here is an Iwata PowerJet Pro compressor. All my airbrushes are Iwata as well. So this is actually my newest one, is the HP-AH. Can you talk about the stash? Hidden behind packing supplies for the book and a couple other things. Science fiction stuff across all subjects, probably between 400 and 500. 1/16 scale little German tankette, some ships, the Mizuho, the Megami, Fletcher destroyer, some Flyhawk kits, there's some 148 scale armor. When I was much younger, I was fascinated with Tamiya. I don't build models for any specific reason that relates to a subject, that relates to historical events. Putting plastic together is really the joy of the hobby for me. It's not anything that relates to specifics of history or subject. So, hi there, welcome back to my home and to my modeling studio, and to this build of Fine Mold's F-15J Eagle, the MSIP version, which was recently released. True to their name, Fine Molds have produced a kit that features incredible surface detailing, including fine panel lines, rivets, and other details you'd expect to see on this incredible aircraft. In a nutshell, it was fantastic. I know it will be very popular, and I look forward to building many of the variations that we can expect to see in the near future. In the course of this video, we'll be looking at the base painting, as well as a unique technique for capturing a realistic, subtle, and organic finish on the final aircraft. From there, we'll move into weathering to bring about a balanced, unified finish for the final build. So my blended ink technique came about from a desire to create a subtle, organic finish that I just wasn't seeing through experimenting with either airbrush modeling or using model masks or salt modeling. Everything to me had issues with how consistent it was, whether it's too hard edge or too soft edge, or so looking for something thinner, I came across Liquitex acrylic inks. And these have a wide variety of colors which can create a number of different effects. But I started from the basics because really what I was most concerned about was achieving tonality in my finish. And what I basically do with these is once that ink is down, is I'll just start stippling it, and it will move that ink around. It'll create bright spots, dark spots, areas of buildup, areas where it's not built up to get the finish that we want. Okay, starting with a pre-painted surface. In this case, a nice medium neutral gray. We're going to get a small amount of thinner on a brush, and I usually just always like to check the loading on my brush. So we're not looking to flood the surface, we're just looking to essentially open it. Generally, I'll just take any surface, drop a little ink on it, like this. So in the case of wings, I generally like to brush in the direction of airflow. So it's a decent coat of ink on there, as you can see. We'll quickly dab our Deerfoot stippler into some thinner, let that brush unload. So what you can see that that ink is now reacting to both the fibers of the brush itself, but also that small amount of thinner that we've added to the brush. But that's going to start to evaporate, and as that evaporates, we'll keep poking away at different areas. Very light touch, very little pressure at all. Okay, that pretty much finishes the entire top surface of the main airframe. Around about an hour, I would say, to do the whole thing to a point that I'm happy with. Yeah, that is stage one of the blended ink technique. From this point, we'll move into setting down some masks and getting some airbrushing done. Thinner on a brush, I usually just always do so. We're not looking to flood the surface, we're just looking.
As well as you generally cut some of the smaller.
have a section of the appropriate diameter. We'll cut off the length.
We are at the famous Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum.
No, some of the middle.